Hello everyone, I'm Rachel and you're listening to Let's Talk Avatar. This is a watch through of The Legend of Korra. Isaac and I will be discussing each episode and giving our opinions on it. Just as a reminder, this podcast does contain spoilers for The Legend of Korra. This is a teen-rated podcast, so listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Let's Talk Avatar podcast. My name is Isaac.
And my name is Rachel.
And today we will be talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Season 2 of Legend of Korra. That's kind of cool because it's Civil War Part 1 and 2, so we're going to title this episode Civil War. Because It's a complete package. 2 episodes, Civil War Part 1 and 2. We're starting with Civil War Part 1.
Can I just
take a shot anytime I say Civil War?
Civil War.
Civil War.
Sorry, not sorry. First thing I wanted to mention about this, I just thought these episodes were going to be so much more intense because they are titled Civil War Part 1 and Part 2.
I thought the same thing as I was watching it. I'm like, this seems like the start of a civil war. It doesn't seem like it's an actual...
Exactly. It's like the start of it, but it doesn't seem like an actual civil war. So you're just kind of like, okay. But I mean, I guess it is between the water tribes, which are just the southern and northern. So you're just kind of like...
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like keep bringing soldiers to one side of the... like over the entire globe.
Yeah. But I thought it was just going to be a little more intense. Do you want to just jump into it? Or do you want me to talk? Do you want me to jump into
Avatar?
You know what, guys? Let's talk Avatar. So with Civil Wars Part 1, Civil Wars. So there's multiple wars? That's what the title is.
I'm assuming they're thinking like Spirit World and Our World.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Like Northern Water Tribe.
So, personally, I'm going to start out by saying these episodes really they're interesting, but they weren't that interesting to me, you know?
I liked them.
I mean, I liked them, but I also was like, not really feeling it all that much. So, this is where the Southern Water Tribe has occupied the Northern Water Tribe, and Unalaq's there to, like, protect the Southern Spirit Portal and wants Korra to go open the northern one, and so all of this stuff's going
Korra
on.
To open her WAP.
Is that like a reoccurring theme in our episodes? And he's convinced her that by doing that, it's going to be better for humanity and bring together these two worlds that have fought for so long. And then you have Varric. This is where he comes into it. They pretty much have trapped everyone in the Southern Water Tribe, haven't they? I think that's what he did, is they're kind of like trapped there, and because they are, Varric can't do what he needs to do to run his business. Yeah. So he's like, let's overthrow Unalaq, which I'm all for.
It's put a damper on everyone's plans.
Yeah. So he sets up this whole thing, and Korra ends up finding out about it, and then, yeah. Why am I explaining the episode? I thought I said I wasn't going to explain the episode anymore. I was going to talk about my favorite parts. That's what I'm going to do.
We've just been doing it for so long. It's just natural at this point.
It's out of habit. What I really liked about this episode is you really get to see Unalaq's real colors. And you know what I'm going to do with these? Because it is part 1 and part 2, I'm just going to talk about them back and forth because it's going to be too hard for me to like figure out what really happened in which part.
Shout out Jackie's mom.
Yeah.
You were so good in these episodes.
Our friend Jackie, we just noticed this. Korra's mom looks like our friend Jackie's mom. Jackie, if you're hearing this, listening to this, watch it. I don't know if you'll feel the same, but me and Isaac definitely
were like, man,
who does that girl look like?
We were thinking, like, did Jackie relate to Korra in this moment? Because...
Jackie's like, yes, Korra, I feel you. We have the same mom. They do the live action. Jackie's mom plays Korra's mom.
Yes.
And that clip we have of her just saying hi.
That's her one line.
Okay, moving on from Jackie's mom. These episodes, I mean, they weren't bad, but there was a lot of obviously like talking and arguing going on back and forth. But I really like these episodes because Korra comes back to her family. You know, like, she becomes closer to her mom and dad once again instead of being this, like, angsty teenager that's like, oh my gosh, leave me alone. I want to be in control.
Yeah, even though there's still more of this, like, I know better than you guys.
Yeah.
And Korra's mom's basically like, you can't just fix all of this. This has been going on, like, multiple decades before you were even born. So, you know.
It's a good lesson, I think, for everyone, because I think we can all get in those spots of wanting to change something that's been either a lifetime of habits for you or a lifetime in general of these things that have been so standard, I guess you can say.
But she has to understand something like a civil war or something like tensions like that is not just going to go away overnight.
Well, that's what I'm saying too.
Like, she wants
those
it
things,
to.
Yeah, and those things aren't. It's going to obviously take more than a day, but I think Korra wants to help people so bad, and so she's constantly trying to do what she can, and so she gets upset when things aren't going the way she wants them to. You know?
Yeah.
But she's still young and doesn't realize, like, this is obviously going to take more than just a day or two of spending time, you know? And the thing is, too, is she's from the Northern Water Tribe, so to her, she wants to support these people.
I thought she was from the Southern Water Tribe.
No. Wait.
Pretty sure Korra's from the Southern.
No, she is. She's from the Southern.
Because her dad got banished.
Her dad's from the Northern.
South,
That's
and
right.
Then clapped a Southern water lady, and now
Jackie's mom and Tonrock are together. So back to what I was saying. She wants to support her people in the Southern Water Tribe, but then you have the Northern Water Tribe who's there occupying it, and she wants to be with Unalaq, who's teaching her all these cool spirit-related things. But she's also realizing in these episodes, I mean, she does realize that Unalaq maybe isn't the person she thinks he is, which I'm so glad we figured this out by episode 4 rather than like halfway through the series.
You couldn't tell before then, but let me stop. Yeah. Unalaq is weird for me because for some reason I remember him being having more of a personality.
Yeah, I agree.
Now that I'm watching it back, he's just a villain for the sake of, he's like an Ozai.
Yeah, he is. There's no real personality to him. Me and Isaac we watched these episodes together, so I felt like we got a lot of what we wanted to say out last night when we were watching these episodes, but we both talked about how Unalaq just has his one agenda that he wants to push, that he believes is right, and nothing else matters. Even his own kids come and talk to him, and he doesn't care.
Maybe it's because he's like meant to be a sociopath, because he sees everyone in his life, all of his relationships, as like a means to get places.
Yeah, what can they do for him?
Yeah, like well, even his kids are kind of like that too. Later on,
yeah. Well, he uses them to find people for him or to do things.
He uses Korra. He uses Tonrock, his own brother. He uses everyone. Like, he's just that's just him. And the creepy thing about him is he's so far into his agenda and his like goals that it is like at the forefront of everything. If that makes, I'm trying to say it like.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, it's the only thing that matters to him.
He's taking advantage of something that is meant to happen. Mm-hmm. That he's the only one that knows about it.
I was going to say, remember when we were watching it last night and we were talking about how we were like, okay, obviously this has been something he's been trying to do, or his goal, his end game here, he's had planned for a while. But how did he know that
a teenager
Korra was going to be the Avatar? Like, he didn't know that. So did he just get lucky by having his niece be the Avatar? Because he needs the Avatar. So if she wasn't the Avatar, was he going to search for the Avatar, like Paula Zuko kind of thing, and find the Avatar?
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy. And I feel like until you get further into the season and you realize what his real motives are, because right now we really don't know what his motives are. I mean, we do because we've seen it, but if you're watching this for the first time, at this point, you know he's manipulating and you know there's a reason why, but you don't know the details yet.
It's kind of in your face, like, oh, it's just like base level, I'm going to cause tension between my family type manipulation. Not like world-ending
Yeah, at least right now, because
different
it gets
dimension there. Like bending.
One thing I really wanted to talk about was the way that he treated Korra's father. So he sets it up to where Korra's dad's is gonna be killed for trying to plot against him, which he was actually never part of. Like, he was there, but he refused to be part of it. And then Unalaq tells the judge, like, oh, please have mercy. And the judge is like, fine, you'll serve a lifetime in prison. And of course, Korra's dad goes with it because he's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And Korra finds out later on that the judge was set up to say everything he said. Unalaq told him to say that. And this is where you find out from this judge that Unalaq has caused every bad thing that's ever happened to Korra's dad, pretty much, is because of Unalaq. And
or honestly, like modern water tribe politics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy. We
were talking about this last night too. The water tribe is so controversial. I didn't say that right. But you know what I mean? Like, they're so dramatic, and they fight over the littlest things, and they're so traditional. That's what I'm looking for.
Because they're so close-minded, they're so swayed. If it's in the favor,
swayed, no pun intended. The water tribe, woo, water.
Oh, true. Yeah, you'd think with an element like water, they'd be like more flowing and free,
like flexible. Yeah,
but they're not. They're the opposite. They're like
very
stubborn. Rigid, like ice. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. And cold. Yeah, that does make sense.
Does make sense. The ice part of it, like if you use that aspect. I feel like...
Peep the sirens going off in the background, if you can hear them.
Yeah, hopefully you can't, but I mean...
It just adds flavor to the podcast.
Whoever that the sirens are for, please be safe.
Rest
in peace.
Hopefully you make it out alive.
Wow. Yeah, I like this season because we do get to see more of the water tribe, which we got to see in Avatar: The Lost Airbender, but you really didn't get to see. We had one season of seeing it, you know? So we had one season of seeing it, and so I really enjoy us being in the water tribes during this time. And while this is going on, Tenzin and his family are still at the Southern Air Temple. This is where Ikki's run off. And I guess this is a fun little part of it, or a good lesson, because Tenzin, Bumi, and Kaya are all fighting, and then Ikki, Jinora, and what's his name? Milo are all fighting. And so it makes, I don't know, it's like a sibling rivalry. That's what I'm looking for.
I didn't realize, though, until this second part of the Civil War episodes that it's a direct, like, it's literally Tenzin, Kaya, Bumi's relationship is what's happening with Milo, Ikki, and Jinora's relationship.
I told Isaac, too, when we watch these, and you see the moments between Kaya, Bumi, and Tenzin, that Kaya and Bumi really didn't get to have the dad Tenzin did. Because Aang, obviously, understandable, is going to train Tenzin, the only airbender at this point besides Aang, But by doing that, he's neglecting his other children. So in Tenzin even admits to them later on, like, maybe I have seen Dad through wrong eyes because he's kind of been biased, you know? And so in that moment, you realize Aang was such a great avatar, but maybe he wasn't the greatest dad. And not because he wasn't capable of it, or not because he wasn't a good person, but because he just, I don't know, maybe he just didn't really think about those aspects of it. But I feel like Katara was a great mom, you know, like...
Well, think about it. Aang went to go be a part of the council, was it? Was he part of the council or no?
I don't think he was. I mean, I think obviously he was always a part of it, but I don't think he was a sitting member of council.
But as the Avatar, you can't just settle down with your family, unfortunately. You literally have to save the world's problems.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like,
and that's why I think Katara was like, I'm definitely going to stay home with these hoes because...
Someone has to. We also talked about Bumi. Imagine having your firstborn child not be a bender. And
I would be pissed.
You are one of the best water benders and the only airbender left.
If I was Aang, I'd be like, look, and obviously this ain't working out. So
we're just going to give you to... Honestly, tell me Bumi didn't hang out with Sokka.
They had to be like really
that
close.
That personality Boomy has is it reminds me of Sokka, and he worked for the United Nations. Is that what it's called there? We have the UN
in America,
in
the world.
Oh,
global.
What's it called? What are their things called that they call upon when like?
Isn't it the United Nations?
I thought it was the United Nations. Maybe I'm wrong.
Is it?
I don't think it is. I think it's something else. I don't know. We'll look at it later.
It's like the United something Nations or whatever.
Something. We'll figure it out. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel bad for Boomy and Kaya in that aspect, and I'm glad that we're seeing more of them, and they're kind of bringing Tenzin back down to earth because he can be a little.
Bring him back down.
I relate to Tenzin though, because he's like a control freak, high-strung person. Like, and that's how I feel a lot of the time.
That's why he's one of my least favorite characters.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him.
I
mean, I don't dislike him, but I'm not also like, oh my god, I just love every scene with Tenzin.
Imagine you're like the only Tenzin stan.
Fangirling every time Tenzin's on screen.
I mean, I'm not denying his involvement with.
And his spiritual,
the Avatar and his spiritual, and how he's literally keeping the airbending, like all airbenders alive right now.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked it might be later on in the season. Me and Rachel watched a little bit ahead, so I might be talking about a scene later on, but he teaches Milo how to lead.
Oh, that's right.
And it is just like so good. And even though you don't see him teaching him, you see the outcome and how good Milo is afterwards.
You know what I can say that I really appreciate about Tenzin is the issues you see that Boomy and Kaya had with Aang. Tenzin does really well with his children, spending time with them and having personal moments with them and helping them rather than just like picking Jinora, who obviously is the more spiritually inclined person in their family. Instead of choosing her to train up, he has special moments with all of them. And I love that because and even Rohan, in the beginning you see him playing with them. He has these moments with his family that I just really love. It shows that he tries his best to be a well-balanced person, which I think is the key here. It's the key to life.
That's the key to life. Pandora's box.
That's all I have to say about these episodes, though. Do you have anything else? I feel like we're missing a whole bunch, but...
I mean, Eska, Desna...
Oh, Korra... Wait, I don't think
nope, that's way...
Never mind. Sorry, we couldn't help it. We wanted to watch these episodes, but we watched a little further ahead from Civil Wars, so... Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Captain America Civil War was such a great movie, guys.
Oh my gosh.
So we're here to talk about... What side are you on? Are you on Captain America's side, or are you feeling a little frisky and you're going to be with Iron Man?
Wow, I think that's the movie Blake and I saw in theaters on our first date. 2016, is that when it came out?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it was then. And we
Let
both
us
were
know
falling asleep, so...
what side you guys are on.
Iron Man or Captain America?
I'm definitely going to have to choose Iron Man. I've never been a fan of Captain America, and he didn't really have anyone that was like...
Captain America, to me...
But didn't Captain America have Scarlet Witch?
Yeah,
or no, that was Iron Man, right?
Either
way, whoever Scarlet Witch, whatever team she's on, I'm choosing that team.
She's OP. She is literally, yeah.
Anyways,
just a little Marvel for you in our Avatar
Cinematic
podcast.
Universe.
Yeah.
I just love the Water Tribe and the Unagi, and I love the architecture, the culture. I feel like the lack of culture in the Water Tribe, if that makes sense, like they don't really have anything to show for it, is what makes them so intriguing. Mm-hmm. Is because all these other places
it's mysterious.
Yeah, you're left wanting more, and you're, with all these questions.
Yeah, you're really curious about why the Water Tribe is the way that they are, and with other elements, it's not so much like that. Like we all know about the
Fire
air
Nation,
nomads,
the air nomads.
Yeah, we know so much about them from the last series that the Water Tribe, which is crazy because Katara and Sokka, who were main characters in Avatar: The Last Airbender, were from the Water Tribe, but yet we didn't really get to see much of the Water Tribe. And I mean, there's the North and the South, but I mean, still, like, I think they are the smallest nations when it comes to the different elements, but...
That's true. We literally only saw...
In season 1...
The beginning of season 1 and the end of season 1. The Spirit Oasis.
Yeah, the Spirit Oasis.
In the Northern Water Tribe.
Yeah. I am very excited, though, speaking of different nations and tribes, to get into the Earth Kingdom. I think the Earth Kingdom's so fascinating.
Yeah, same. Kuvira?
Oh.
Metal bending? Lava bending?
Lava bending? Metal bending?
Not the biggest fan of metal bending. Let us know what your favorite bending style is. Start out with the 4 elements, and then from there you can branch off and tell us which one's your favorite from those sub-elements. Mine would probably be earth and then lava bending.
Mine is water bending. I mean, I've always been a fan of water bending, but...
I feel like everyone picks blood bending, and I'm just not here for it.
I would like to actually see more on the healing aspect of water.
Yeah.
We really don't... We see it happen a lot, but we really don't understand how it's happening.
We see, I feel like, healing as much as we see metal bending throughout both series combined, but we don't ever get an explanation for it or anything.
Yeah.
But we get like a full rundown of metal bending in like...
Also, we haven't been explained to yet how Unalaq does the... Oops, my mic. The spirit... I'm moving my arms in a circle like he does around the spirit. It's like, we didn't really get explained what he's doing with that.
I'm imagining that's part of like healing.
Yeah, like some kind of soothing effect, calming.
Yeah, like spiritual healing or something.
That's what it looks like. Well, and you're literally taking water and circling it around them. But water is still mysterious to me in some ways. And it's OP with blood bending.
But the water, when they're healing someone, it turns like a neon blue. Yeah. When they're calming a spirit, it turns like yellow.
Yeah. Airbending, probably my least favorite.
I love airbending.
Okay, to get to your peak, you have to let go of all your earthly tethers. Like, I'm sorry.
That's because airbending's already the most OP element. Like, think about it. If you're a master airbender, I mean, look at what Aang was able to do.
I'm just not an airbending fan. I mean, I think it's interesting to watch, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, I love airbending so much. If you do, that's fine. If people, I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone for their choices on...
Astral projection is my favorite.
Every bending... There's something special about every bending style, but obviously everyone has one that they tend to prefer or like more.
I just want to see more... combustion bending.
Yeah.
And lava bending. We'll get into that in season 3.
Season 3. I'm really looking forward to season 3.
Minghua, boss.
I wanted to say something, but I don't want to say something.
Who's your favorite character right now?
Favorite character would probably...
General Iroh is just really pulling through for me right now.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't like Mako. I don't like Korra. Asami's not in it enough. Bolin's like the comedic relief, you know? Eska and Desna I don't like.
I'm kind of feeling
Tonrock. Tonrock is my favorite character. There it is. Tonrock's my favorite character.
Tonrock,
so underrated. Tell me he's not one of the most underrated characters in the Avatar universe.
Yeah.
The Avatar's...
At least right now.
The Avatar's dad, who literally has been treated like crap his whole life without even really knowing his brother was the cause behind it all, and just takes it and makes the best out of it. I want to be a Tonrock.
Jackie's mom's a pretty good character.
Yeah. They couple really well.
Who else?
Tonrock's the only one for me that I can think of. Unalaq, I just love his character and the development that we're seeing with him and how much of a...
Usually I would pick villains because a lot of them are relatable, but...
okay, coming from season 1, tell me this isn't the truth. Coming from the first season where you have Amon, who is a very, like, complex character.
Yes, there's so many aspects his aggression and all of that makes sense, right? You've been there before.
That's what I'm saying. He's so complex. And then you get to season 2 where you have Unalaq and you're like, what? Like, you're so boring.
Well,
There's
first
nothing
of all,
to
you can't relate to his life.
What's your struggle?
Exactly. Most people can't relate to his lifestyle because he's born, it seems like, into like royalty almost.
They're literally, aren't they like princes of the tribe if they have,
I mean,
or like
that's what they're portraying it look like.
Chiefs. They became they're like, in the tribe royalty, they're part of that, you know?
Tonrock's actually had to struggle.
Yeah. Because of Unalaq.
Unalaq has never, I feel like, had to struggle.
Yeah. He's always been very manipulative, so he's gotten his way.
So already he's not relatable at all.
Yeah. And then as we get further on in the series...
then he knows something that literally no one else in the world knows about. So then he's not relatable even more.
He's just isolated. His own kids can't even relate to him. That just bothers me. I'm like, wow, you don't even appreciate or talk to your own kids. No wonder they're the way that they are.
The more I think about his character, the more I feel like he's meant to be like a sociopath.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's really no other explanation for the way that he is.
Not so much like psychopath, but like sociopath. Because he is isolated. Mm-hmm. He uses people.
I feel like he has no emotion behind what he does.
Exactly.
Like, there's no... Besides pushing his own agenda, he does not care.
And even when he's pissed that something happens, he's really not pissed. He's just like, oh, it's another roadblock.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll find a way.
Yeah. All right, well...
Maybe that's why he's not relatable.
I feel like we were going to wrap this episode up so many times, and we just keep talking about random stuff.
This series is called Let's Talk Avatar, or this podcast.
It is. I really do enjoy... Let us know what you guys think. Do you prefer us... I mean, actually, I'm not going to answer that because I really don't like explaining the episodes over. I really like being able to talk about my favorite parts and us create the conversation from there.
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to this podcast, most likely you've already watched The Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
So us explaining the whole episode, especially if you've already watched it, it's kind of like, okay, I already know what happens. But being able to talk about it in a deeper way, I guess, opens up more doors for us to have conversations with you guys and hear your guys' opinions on it. Because that's the one thing I love about the Avatar community. Two things. I mean, I'm gonna say what I love. I love that there's so many different opinions and views on the Avatar universe that can make sense. But I hate when the Avatar community tries to discount someone's, I guess, belief or their opinion because they don't think it makes sense. I mean, that's true with any fandom, but I do see it in the Avatar fandom, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it. Not that it happens to me. If it happens to me, I'm just like, I really don't care what people think of my opinion. I mean, I make a podcast. If you want to listen to it, you want to listen to it. If you don't, then I understand.
At the end of the day, these shows were made to entertain us. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they do. So
it's like artwork. Everyone's interpretation of it is going to be different.
Exactly. Everyone's love for it is going to be different.
Or displayed in different ways, too. Because just because we don't watch it on repeat every single day doesn't mean that we're a fan of it, you know?
I mean, this is how we express our love for it. We literally made a podcast.
Yeah, we just wanted to talk about it. But I think the reason we wanted to talk about it is because I'm curious if other people do feel the way we do, you know? Or I do like hearing other people's viewpoints on it.
Yeah, we're desperate for, like, Avatar talk with people.
We are. We literally have our friend Jackie, and that's the only person we talk Avatar with.
And don't get me wrong, she has thought so in-depthly about every single thing.
And we'll have her on some future episodes, too.
Yeah.
Because she does have some really good opinions. And she watched Korra as it was releasing. We didn't watch Korra as it released. We watched it after it came out. Yeah,
so she has more of like the real-time
experience.
Feelings, yeah,
having to wait week to week to watch it. She also has a tattoo related to Avatar, so I mean...
True.
And it's not just an arrow.
Quick question.
Inside joke. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to offend anyone. If you have an arrow, I think that's actually kind of cool. Okay, what were you going to say? I need to stop talking.
Quick question. Does Aang's arrow go, like...
down his butt?
No, does it, like, go around his butthole into, like... What is that? Like, where does the arrow stop?
Good question. Ask Katara.
Katara's like, let me see where the arrow ends.
She's like, hey, let me see where that arrow ends, though.
Ew.
Okay, we need to end this. This is
Like,
going.
"You're
He's like, let me show you where this arrow ends. Ooh. Okay, we're done.
We're done.
We're done.
This episode's over.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Isaac.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Instagram. Send us an email. We love you, and we will see you next episode release. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. You can find us on our website at nonessentialmedia.com, on Twitter at Let's Avatar, and on Instagram at Let's Talk Avatar. Join us next week for another episode. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.